What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. This is part 19 of the Beef Ravioli run of the Mystic Quest playthrough as far as what's fair is going to happen. So in this particular episode, I've been trying to get this episode belted out for a little while now, pitches like that, but particularly I don't know what was the mishap from before, but I am going to get this wrapped up now within those pitches. So it's just the fair as far as saying particular concept about it. Last time kind of got tricked in this particular episode. Now you'll see what I'm talking about by the end of this particular episode, but the sesh about it was I recorded about 15-17 minutes, something like that, or maybe it was even 15-17 minutes, something like that, across these two episodes, part 18, part 19, of trying to get to the win boss as far as those fairs gonna happen. But look after it here. The boss is not actually as difficult as he was in the original tower, which I think for the most part, the pitch behind most of these bosses when fighting them is just the fair that it's just the nostalgia fighting them more so than the actual aspect of the terror. I just would question, but it does make me wonder how the Dark King's going to turn out within some of those type pitches, as to wondering how tough he's going to particularly be. I question if there's going to be a dungeon with him, because I don't know. I mean, I have seen this game played through a few times, but it's probably been over 10 years since I've full bound and have seen that. So it's just one pitch as far as saying, so it's just the pitch as far as getting towards it, but it's going to be a series. I don't know if I said this in part 18, but there's going to be a series of these in this particular wind tower area as far as what's first going to happen, but we'll get towards it, and then we'll get some more of these belted out within those particular type of deals. So it's just the pitch as far as saying the particular grind sesh that this goes along with it. I mean, really, these enemies are not that terribly difficult. I mean, it seemed like they gave me a little bit of problems, but the main thing about it is they have some status effects in here. The thing about Petrify, as Phoebe is petrified right now, is just the fact that if you lose a party member when one of them is petrified, it's game over, because it's just the thing about Petrify is there's no way of curing it. It doesn't wear off, which is kind of the pitch you would think in some senses. Like in certain Final Fantasy games, if you get turned to stone or something like that, they just attack you until it wears off or something like that. When you think of other role-playing games, but it's just for the pitch, if you get petrified, that's it. And it's just kind of fair. I mean, maybe Final Fantasy VI is like that as well. I don't remember his full bound. There's like some ones like Doom. I used to really hate the Doom spell as far as this pitch can happen, because that would put like a counter on you, and you'd have to have like a heal spell, and if you didn't do it, it would just automatically kill the party member. And there were certain ones, like maybe that Doom Gaze enemy, something like that, one of those type ones that would do that pretty often. It was just a pitch as far as saying there's not that many status effects in this particular game that are that annoying, but it's just within the pitch as far as saying it's just one to watch out for. It's just if you get petrified, you have to pretty much make sure you either heal the other party member, or you have to pretty much not die with the remaining party members. It's just a pitch as far as saying that. So it's just the fair, but so yeah, this particular area tricked me as far as this fair is gonna happen, just with an aspect behind it, just like a typical Zelda game, something like that. Some of those particular type conducts of it. I mean, I want to say the Illusion of Gaia is probably like that as well as some of those type ones, like those particular type games. I mean, those are wicked games. I mean, when you look after just paying attention to the extra type fair, some of those type ones from 30-35 years ago, pitches like this, it's kind of the fair as far as saying there's a lot of these, like those. I mean, these are just like winning gems. I mean, within the pitch behind, I mean, these games have always been expensive when you pay attention to the fair behind it. They've always wound up being like $60, $50, $70 somewhere in there to get some of these even used, but they are pretty much worth it. Now, I realize the concept when you talk about like newer games and pitches like that, like there's been folks out there that are not liking the concept of like the new Nintendo machine costing like $190 or $100, probably $100 with tax for like these particular games where these fairs going to happen. But the thing about it is folks are just jacking up the prices on basically everything, and I don't know why. Like when I bought Chrono Trigger back in like 2010, 2011, pitches like that. I mean, I've owned that game in the past, but when I bought it back then, it was like 55, maybe 45, 55, or 65 bucks. Now, this is kind of the pitch as far as saying it's just the conduct behind saying within that particular fair. But the reality of it is that's what you would pay for, like back in those days, 50 bucks is what you would have paid for an Xbox 360 game. And it's just, I mean, it's just strange paying attention to that particular type fair as far as like the concept. I mean, it's I get it with some of these more expensive type ones, but for the most part, any game that's not going to cost probably more than $45 is probably not a game that you'd want to play. And it's paltry within that concept as far as realizing that. Like, I'd probably say this game for folks who are seeing this, if you're trying to fuck with this, I actually did get this game for pretty cheap. From what I remember, I think I paid actually like $15 or $17 for this. I think I'm glad, obviously, because this is a gem here. This is a pretty classic game. It's just the pitch that this was actually one that the price is not as jacked up on. It's kind of the fear behind it. I mean, nowadays most of the dealers have kind of figured out the concept as far as which games are good versus which ones aren't. But at least within certain fashions, not every single like old Super Nintendo game is going to cost that kind of much of like a hefty price tag within the pitch. But yeah, you're supposed to, when you enter this saga here, you're supposed to just go to the right. You see those windows there. That's what you're supposed to figure out. And I didn't know that last time within those pitches, but. Yeah, plenty of those games from back in those days. I mean, obviously the big weight ones like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, some of those type ones, but paying attention to other ones like Sunset Riders is pretty. I mean, for the most part, these folks have figured it out. It's just kind of pitch as far as saying, but the games are worth it. I mean, there's plenty of these games. Like I would easily say for folks who really thoroughly enjoy this one, I don't know what game I would do. I made a playlist for thinking about doing Illusion of Gaia, but I just don't think I would ever get it completed. Probably, I mean, that could take more than 5 or 6 years for me to even do it. I just don't think I have like the full bound kind of attention span to commit to doing that particular game. I mean, I'd like to at least. It is a classic, and I will admit that. But it's just kind of fair as far as saying it is the gesture, is the having the patience to want to do it. It's just the pitch. I mean, these are excellent type games, just the conduct of it, but. Yeah, just being able to say, so yeah, just walking out the edge, of course, takes you back to this area, and then you have to get out of it in those type pitches, but just kind of the conduct behind it, so there probably will be another one of these belted out soon enough. There's enough room in July to get some more of these done within these pitches. So it's just kind of the format as far as saying, but I do get this figured out later. We will fight the wind boss. It was actually not as horrible, like I was saying. It's just the concept behind it as far as this fair is going to happen. Just the pitch. I mean, obviously, like I said, I learned that you don't want to attack him when his defenses are up because it's just an automatic kill. But other than that, the boss is really not too terrible. But you'll see that as we get to him as far as this fair is going to happen. Coming within these next few episodes, pitches like that. So subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night and subscribe for more fun.